Car 2726, driven by Scott Booley of Thomaston, the D&D Autoworks, Powell Vacuum Supply, Connor Larkin's Irish Pub Machine, and finally, Mike Crossley in car 71. We're underway. 25 laps to the distance. Brad Forino leading the field into turn number 1. As the skies darken, keep your fingers crossed. Manafort on the outside as they're side by side down the backstretch. Lawrenson and Forino in the second row. The field trying to sort out. Not much movement at the moment. Out of turn 4, leading the way, is Brian Forino.
He drives the 3 drivers and throws them in point chase for the championship. Willie Hardy is in 42, Tom Fern in 92, Denny Doyle in 31. Those are the 3 drivers that have a shot at the season championship that will be decided 24 laps from now as the field comes off turn 4.
The Forino boys leading the way. Mark in the lead. Brand right behind him in the 25. Manafort having his hands full right now. Moving up on the outside, Brad Forino in the 36, and he takes over third spot.
Now in that championship chase, middle of the pack, Tommy Fern in the orange and yellow 92, running in 11th position. 13th is Willie Hardy in number 42. That's a white Camaro down the inside. He's the point leader. Trouble in 2. 2 cars get together, and the 1 gets hard on the brakes. And everybody separates. But for 3, now 4 cars piled up in turn number 2. And 2 cars limping off to the infield.
You can see some of the fiberglass hanging off the front end of the 17. Hopefully that's all the damage to the Eddie Carroll car. So it just seems to be a question of Anderson and Carroll at the moment.
Got back to the pits with a flat right. Mike Crossley, who started, that may have been prior damage as he started tail end on the field. Alongside in 10th and right behind Hardy, number 31, Denny Doyle. Right in the middle of the pack, 3 drivers battling hard for the championship today.
Here we go. Green flag waves once more, and we have 3 laps completed this one, so still a big battle to be had. It's still Mark Forino leading the way into turn number 2, but here comes Forino down low, and he's got the second spot from Brad Forino. Todd Anderson up to third place in the 14. Tim Latiga moving smartly in car number 1, has now moved into 5th place. To the line they come. Mark Forino still leading the way, and Anderson now takes over the number 3 spot from Brad Forino. Latiga down low. He'll try to work his way up. And he overtakes Forino now, and he has the 4th position in car 1. Rich Vassar running extremely well in that new Porter and Chester Institute car, number 10. And he's been looking strong, and he moves alongside Brad Forino.
Tom Fern moves up to 7th in number 92, and with today's double points, he's going for 6th, and that would be the margin necessary to give him the championship. Still Will Hardy trying to mount a charge from mid-pack, and Doyle moving up.
Fern's car was severely damaged yesterday. His crew did a great job of putting this car back together, and obviously they put it back together right. Latiga now bids for the number 3 spot. Bobbles just a little bit out of 2 and has to drop back in line behind Todd Anderson in the 14. Rich Vassar still continuing to move up through the pack in the number 10 car. He is now running in 5th place, just ahead of Fern. Willie Hardy must be getting just a little anxious at this moment. He still has 18 laps to make some moves, but he sees Fern 4 spots ahead of him, and that's not too comfortable a feeling, I'm sure.
Right, Hardy at number 42 is 10th, and 3 spots further back, Denny Doyle at 31. 3rd place point man, trying to break himself free of traffic and get by Tommy Membrino.
Here comes Hardy now. He works his way under Jeff Zinema. Meanwhile, Fern looks to the inside of Vassar and then backs off. Tightly bunched 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, Latiga made a bump and run move there that got him the inside going into turn number 1. Let's see if he can capitalize on that. Took a little shot at the 3rd place car down in turn number 3 as Fern moves past the number 10. And they're 2 by 2 into turn 3.
And Willie Hardy still sitting those 3 spots behind Fern, as we now have 10 complete. Here comes Fern once again, under Vassar and heading for Todd Anderson. And here he comes down the backstretch. Fern giving it his best shot, dives hard into turn 3. and he's got the number 4 spot.
That car really sticks well on the bottom of the racetrack, and if you can dive under and hold the bottom, you're going to pick up spots here. That's just what Tom Byrne is doing as he is up to 4th. In 9th is the point leader, Willie Hardy.
And 2 points behind him, Denny Doyle. So Doyle's got to get moving. Here they come, heading for the line. It'll be 12 down. 13 to go. Doyle has a lot of catching up to do, as there's a great deal of separation between he and Jeff Steinema. Hardy now going to the inside, trying to pick up a position on Todd Anderson. Here they come off the turn, and Hardy has that spot, so he picks up a position. Meanwhile, Fern is closing in ever so slowly on Tim Latiga. Still a long way to go, but he is gaining on the number 1.
Yeah, Raleigh, Tommy Fern's running a little lower line, especially down in 1 and 2. That's the short way around. It's not necessarily the fast way, but it is the way Tommy Fern's car is looking down to the inside, and Hardy will pick up the 7th spot so he can get a turn number 3. But he has got to get right on Tommy Fern's bumper to have a shot at this championship.
Mark Forino, meanwhile, doing a fine job up front, running a good line himself. Weissno running 2nd, Latiga 3rd, and Latiga now starting to feel the pressure from Tom Fern. Rich Vassar runs in 5th place in the 10. It's Jim Mavliganis running 6th in the 01, and then it's our point leader, Willie Hardy, in the 42. Getting down now to those precious fuel. Only 9 laps remain.
Tommy Fern has caught the leaders in 92. Took a long way back and to run them down. But we'll first have to deal with the number 1 car of Tim Latiga. Latiga this season is running, had 1 feature win that came on August 6th. Looking for his 2nd best performance of the season today. He's in 3rd and now turns around the 2nd place car.
Weissno goes spinning in that wet infield and not heading in the direction he wants. And that, of course, has brought out the caution. So, all of us...
Latiga all the way to the back.
Wow.
Frontier Justice is swift.
You don't have time to clown around. 14 laps down. And we're going to green. Here we go. Mark Forino and Tom Fern. Here they come, heading for that turn 4 area, and we've got our green. Off the turn. Certainly, pedals are being maxed down as Mark Forino will lead Fern into turn 1. But Tom's not giving up as he hangs tight on that outside groove. Rich Vassar doing a super job in the 10 is closing in to make a battle out of that one.
Well, there's one sure way to win a championship, and that's get out front, get away from traffic and away from trouble, and that's what Tommy Fern in 92 is trying to do right now. But the restart has put Willie Hardy back in the race. Here comes Hardy, and the 01 goes around. Jim Mavliganis, and he might have had a little help. Green will stay out here. 18 down of 25. And we'll get the caution. Some water is on the track from where Mavliganis spun, and in the wall goes 1 car. 87 gets sent spinning.
Looks like Lou Pryor in the 74 is the man snug against the wall. Yes, he is. Now he pulls away under his own power. So, okay, Lou.
And 71.
This is the way it should be, I guess, Mike. I tell you, great excitement. Just like last year, we're going right down to the wire with these point battles. Here we go. There's the green, and we're back underway with 7 laps remaining, and they're on the mark. Rich Vassar gets the edge of the line. Well, here comes Mark in that lower groove to get it back. Through the speedy dry go the cars on the inside lane. Vassar gets a real good pull off the outside of turn number 2. It's Vassar, Forino, Fern, and Hardy. Here comes Forino back on the inside. 6 to go. Vassar's not going to give up that high line. Tommy Fern gets underneath him. Trouble on the Membrino, number 64, as it pulls to the infield in turn 1.
Tommy Byrne's in a good spot. If he can keep this track blocked up double wide, Will Hardy's got no place to go to beat him for that championship. Byrne a minute second, 5 to go.
And here comes Hardy right behind Fern, trying to overtake Vassar. Let's see if he can accomplish it into turn 3. Yes, he does. Nose ahead of Vassar. Gets a little bit loose, but now he comes right back and holds on to that number 3 spot.
Vassar finally drops in line in 4th.
Great action as they head down the backstretch.
Well, Will Hardy is 1 position away from being track champion. He is 3rd. Tom Byrne is in 2nd. That's the championship spot. Mark Forino looking for win number 2. 3 laps to go.
Hardy must have his foot on the floor saying, oh, where's that little bit extra? And he's going in deeper and deeper as these laps start to wind down now. Here they come with the 2 sticks in the air, just 2 remain. Here comes Denny Doyle. He wants to get back in that picture too as he works his way under Vassar.
Doyle in 31. Mark Forino, Tommy Byrne. Deep goes Hardy into turn 3. Right up against the back bumper of Tom Byrne. 1 lap to go for the championship.
This is it, folks. Who will be the Pro Stock champion? Can Byrne hold on to that number 2 spot ahead of Hardy or even take the victory? Mark Forino doing a super job up front once again. And here they come. It's the final turnaround for the Pro Stocks. And Mike, here they come to the line.
Forino will win it, and Tom Byrne races his way to the Pro Stock championship. Will Hardy will settle for 2nd in the points. Denny Doyle will be 3rd. As Byrne and Hardy exchange congratulations on the backstretch. Mark Forino win number 2. 2 days and 2 victories for the Purple Gang. And Tom Byrne, with his 2nd place finish, nails down the Pro Stock Championship on the final lap of the season.
It's been a case of difficult times the last several weeks for Fern, and so now, after all that suffering, comes jubilation as he wraps up the title. Championships are not new to Tom. He's done it before in other divisions at other speedways, but now, here he is, the top man in this division for 1993.
3 second place finishes to go along with 3 thirds and 3 fourths. And Hardy had only 2 weeks this year out of the top 10, or rather, excuse me, he had 4 weeks out of the top 10. A couple of those, he just missed it by a spot or 2. So, hard-fought battle in the Pro Stock ranks for the season championship. Mark Forino, today's winner. Tom Byrne, the 1993 champion. Forino, the winner today. Byrne finishing 2nd. Will Hardy is 3rd this afternoon. In 4th, car number 09, that's Jeff Zeidema. Winding up 5th, Denny Doyle, who will be the 3rd place point man. An 8th place finish. 9th, Dave Etheridge. And 10th, Tim Latiga. Tony?
Boy, there's a lot of people with purple jackets headed down here. We're in serious trouble.
Well, you are if you're not wearing purple today, I guess.
You bet.
Let's join Tony with Mark Forino, today's Pro Stock winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the final Pro Stock event here at Stafford, Mark Forino. Congratulations. That was a great drive. That was probably the best drive of the year for you.
That was the longest race of the year for me. I never started that close to the front, and to lead all that laps, I was going, oh, when's it going to end?
No. You're supposed to feel jubilant about being up front.
Well, when I start from the back and I get to the front, it's jubilant. When you're starting the front and you stay there, it's...
Well, you've obviously developed a trend because you did very well last night, yesterday afternoon here, and now you come back and do this again. What did you do to the car to make it work so much better? Because you weren't as far up front during the rest of the year as you were these last 2 races.
Well, everybody stayed away from me yesterday and today. The car always ran good, but we always got knocked out. And actually, the car ran better yesterday than it did today, but we hung on. That's all that counts.
Well, congratulations once again. I know your crew wants to get up here. They're not at all excited, I'll tell you that. Ladies and gentlemen,
I just want to thank a few people. I'd just like to thank a couple people. One person who made most of this season possible is Donnie Powers, who helped us out a great deal. And if we didn't have him, I don't know where we were. And also, Joe, Mike, Dan, Chris, and the rest of the crew. I like to, thank them, because without them, I'd be lost.
Well, your foot had a lot to do with it also. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Forino. As Mark's getting his congratulations from his crew, there's a little bit of celebrating going on over here also. We got the guy that just won the championship, Tom Fern. Boy, what a way to do it, right to the last lap at the last race. Did you think yesterday that it was going to come down to this after wadding your car up?
Well, last year at Riverside it come down to 2 points, and this year at Stafford the same thing. I know those 2 points mean a lot when it comes down to the end there. All year long we've been finishing the best we can, and then at the end of the year it comes down to 2 points.
You know, people write movie scripts like this. You're not supposed to do this on a regular basis. It's supposed to be make-believe stuff. Tell us about the race. You were way back in the pack. You had a hard time to move up front, and then Hardy was right there with you all the way along. What was the turning point in the race as far as getting clear of everybody else?
All I want to do was stay out there in one piece and finish the race, and all I knew I had to finish was ahead of Willie, and just one spot would do it, and as long as I kept him behind me, that's where we ended up.
Well, it was a long year, and I know a lot of people are taking this celebration with you because they all contributed. You want to thank anybody in particular?
Oh yeah, my whole crew. Like last night, we had to work late on the car because we got wrecked yesterday, and they all put in many hours during the week, all year long. My car owner, Martin Prosco, he's great, stands behind us. Precision Automotive, good horsepower this year, change for the motor this year, and real good. We had a real good season. Sarah Ford, Classic Canoes, and all our sponsors, they all contributed 100%.
Well, on behalf of everybody here, the staff and everything, congratulations on the championship. We'll see you at the banquet.
Both Tom Forino and, Mark Forino and Tom Fern will have some well-deserved celebrating to do after this afternoon. Watch to check your Pit Stopper program. If the CarQuest advertisement in your program has a fluorescent Team Stafford Say No to Drugs sticker on the CarQuest ad in your Pit Stopper program, you've won a special prize. Stop by the track office before you leave today. Once again, that's the CarQuest ad in your Pit Stopper program. There are several prizes if you have a fluorescent Team Stafford Say No to Drugs sticker.